The next question I'd like to answer is, what is the relationship between homeopathy and psychology? Now, it's important to understand that in constitutional homeopathy, we understand that remedies themselves are a picture. There's a portrait, there's a psychological portrait. You know, we'd mentioned in the previous video that there's some sort of archetypal energy matrix that's behind the individual. Every individual, all of us have these. So that constitutional matrix has a psychological portrait. There is a constellation of features that make up who you are, not just in the waking and the more obvious aspects of your personality, but even the deeper impulses, the deeper aversions, the subjectivities of your desires, things that maybe you don't act on, but you crave, you know, things that you think about, the way that you internally respond, right? The way that you internally process things. It may be different than what you actually do or say, or not do and not say, but there's this internal nature that you have, right? And these are archetypes, these are constitutional patterns that exist. And so there's a psychological dimension to those patterns. There's also a physiological dimension to those patterns, that the way that these symptoms and these features show up in the soma is also very important. That won't be really relevant in the homeopathic psychology course. I'll be mentioning and weaving these things through our discussions of the different constitutional pictures, but that's more for a different class and a different time. But understanding these patterns helps students, helps therapists, practitioners, seekers alike to recognize how trauma, how fear, how shame, how guilt, how distortions of the ego itself connect with this constitutional pattern, and how by healing our wounds, healing our patterns, understanding ourselves, and remembering the heart, we can understand perhaps even behind the energy matrix that we're talking about, there being even a deeper reality further. There's the ego, and then there's the heart behind the ego, right? The fitra. It's behind the real true self. So there's layers of being here that we're talking about. So by helping to address the energy matrix, address the constitution and bring balance and harmony to it, both through counseling and traditional spirituality and journaling and muraqabah and muhasabah and stuff like that, but also by dosing homeopathic remedies appropriately that can help harmonize and clear the underlying lesions and awaken the energy body and bring that which is deeper and more profoundly true and beautiful and harmonious with reality and truth forward, inshallah ta'ala. And so homeopathy offers a way for us to integrate the fragmented psyche. Well, also to know the fragmented psyche, but also to defragment, to process, to bring back its reality to wholeness, inshallah ta'ala. And the deeper aspects of who we are forward. So, you know, this course is not about memorizing remedies. I think it's very important to understand that you know, we're going to be teaching about remedies. It's not about memorizing the specific features of a constitution, but it's about understanding the human story behind each one. Each one has a story. Each person, each nature has a story. And maybe even we can say a song. Each person has a specific song. And if you can understand and begin to hear into the inner song, you can begin to understand who this person is and how I can begin to really help them, right? And if it's yourself, how can I know me and help me? And that's something very beautiful, and that all falls within the rubric of whoever knows themselves, knows their Lord. This all is part of what that means, that invitation to knowledge and to becoming, inshallah ta'ala, and remembering, and remembering, and remembering. Ya Rab. Okay, hope that's helpful. Stay tuned for the next video.